I need to share with you a response that I made to someone on X because, as a former educator, I am extremely concerned about how few people are able to do two things. One, deductive reasoning, where you progress from general ideas to specific conclusions, and two, critical thinking, the objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment. So, in response to a tweet about Israel's censorship of Palestinian information, I said, please watch this movie and read the book it's based on. More relevant now than ever, Free Palestine. To me, this is a very, very logical statement. But this man, among others, said, this movie couldn't be less relevant, LMAO. I have so many thousands of comments every day that usually I don't respond to them, but I have the time. Let's listen to what I said. It is actually very clear if you've read the book or seen the movie and approached both with critical thinking and deductive reasoning. Fahrenheit 451 is a novel by Ray Bradbury. Didn't y'all read that in high school? I'm so worried that y'all haven't read this book. And it portrays a hyper-dystopian society where books and freedom of thought, freedom of speech are banned and persecuted. Already there, connection point number one. In the world of the book and the movie, firemen burn, bomb, and destroy any dissent to the political order. Bada bing! Connection point number two. Can you imagine how annoying I was as a prof? Story is a powerful exploration of censorship, the violent suppression of dissenting ideas, and the dangers of a society without critical thinking. When it comes to Israel's ethnic cleansing and genocide of Palestinians, it is very logical to draw parallels between the themes of Fahrenheit 451, especially with regards to free speech restriction, violent suppression of any and all dissent. Now, because I'm really annoying, I went on. I said, critics of Israel's policies in the occupied Palestinian territories have pointed out many instances where the Israeli government and the Israeli occupation forces have taken actions that restrict free speech and suppress dissent. And then I made little categories. 1. Arrests, detentions, and murders. Palestinian activists, journalists, and others have been arrested and detained, sometimes without charge or trial, under administrative detention laws. Others have been violently killed, tortured, bombed, murdered, etc. 2. Restrictions on movement. The Israeli government has imposed restrictions on movement in the occupied territories, which can hinder the ability of activists and journalists to do their work and share information. Another logical connection point. 3. Media suppression. There have been instances of media outlets being shut down and journalists being harassed or injured, imprisoned, tortured, or violently murdered while covering protests or conflicts. If only there were a book or movie that actively talked about this idea in a fictional theoretical way to help me deductively reason why this is such an important issue. If only I had a dystopian book that I could further complexly articulate synaptic reasoning in my mind to understand and connect this to a broader framework that I could then apply to other oppressive groups around the world to understand how authoritarian regimes work. If only. 4. Internet and social media. There have been reports on social media being monitored and individuals being arrested for posts critical of Israeli policies. Doesn't that sound familiar? Isn't there a movie about that? So to say it has nothing to do with it and that we couldn't draw clear and obvious parallels is quite ignorant and incorrect. The comparison to Fahrenheit 451 can be seen as a very clear metaphor for the suppression of independent thought and critical discussion. Bradbury's novel is timeless and emphasizes the importance of diverse perspectives and critical thinking for a healthy motherfucking society. We have seen how, now more than ever, the people's voice is not heard or respected by those in power who warmonger, destroy, bomb, and murder indiscriminately, despite our vehement opposition to this violence and genocide. Just like a whole host of literature, if only I had hundreds of years of books on exactly this topic. Y'all, I'm so annoyed. Thank you for letting me come on here and rant. Okay, bye.